absolutely wild as Verne Gagne's All-Star Wrestling goes coast to coast and continent to continent. The greatest wrestlers in the world.
He may be an apprentice carpenter, but I guarantee you he is a seasoned ring veteran.
I've been hit with bar stools, bar rags, barmaids.
I'm talking to you.
They're scared that Hulkamania's still running wild. Oh, yeah. I got a big fat wife and 9 kids at home, and I gotta feed them.
And take a look at Jesse the Body in real life.
Open your hand once, if you would.
You want to see it?
This is absolutely unbelievable. Totally, completely out of control.
He's coming in over the top. Hey! Look out!
Well, last week we had an issue with the stopping of the recording. And fun fact, today, you guys, but it's the magic of video editing, we couldn't get it started. So either people, they can't get enough or they don't want any. I don't know. I don't know. What do we give the people here?
Can't get enough or they don't want any. Sounds like my high school dating. It depending on and now we lost.
I'm just giving the people what they want to see less of me.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, there we go.
See, if I do that, you'd be like, dang it. Doggone it. Tubbsy got some more gosh darn technical difficulties. We'll just see it through because we're 3 good pals.
Yeah, we sure are.
Yeah,
anyway.
We're 3 something.
See you guys next week.
Yeah. What's going on, boys?
Not much. This Monday morning stuff really gets old after a while, doesn't it?
Is this your first Monday?
I may as well be, pal.
You know,
We're going to have some fun today.
It's a good way to start the week with a little AWA wrestling.
You know, it is when you look at the world and the way that the reality is, this little escape into kayfabe world is very nice.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we don't like the negativity. We don't like the trolling, constructive criticism, dialogue back and forth. Yeah, this is our very, very, very small sliver of the world. This is our corner. And we want to keep this a place where everybody can just talk about wrestling and bust on each other and have fun. We're not into that. This is one of the areas that I don't care if you're right. I don't care if you're wrong. Just be nice. Just be nice.
There you go.
Just like AWA wrestling.
That's right. That's right. Because AWA wrestling is.
If there's one word that you can apply to AWA wrestling, it's nice.
Nice.
So how about those Vikings yesterday?
Well, let's, I was going to transition into the shilling. We can talk football later because our local favorite purple team did good, which was a little surprising, but that's a conversation for another day. One thing I do have to do, you guys, you know the deal. Last week we had our back to ringside. I made that available for everybody because we had a couple of individuals that wanted to take a look at it, higher profile individuals. So made it public to everybody. It was where Mick and I started talking about All Out Toronto and WrestlePalooza and kind of the, WrestleMania going to Saudi Arabia, That's part of our pinfall membership, you guys. You can see it on the screen, or if you're not, if you're listening in audio form, you get the podcast a day early, which will be on Mondays. You get our monthly video watch along, which is Mystery Science Theater 3000 meets professional wrestling. You get our back to ringside. You get a personalized thank you letter with a letter and a sticker and a magnet and pictures from Slick Mick's picks. So it's $4.99 a month. Highly recommend it. And if you want to support the podcast as well, we also have our TeePublic, which has Slick Mick merchandise. You can get your Slick Mick guy cup. You can get a hat. You can get T-shirts. You can get all sorts of things. So that's at teepublic.com. And I think I've done all of the shilling there, guys, and we're less than 5 minutes in. So I think I did good.
You really did. And not only that, but you shortened it up a little bit by putting sticker and magnet together and having Stignet. And I thought that was really well done. You shaved time there, Al DeRusha. That's excellent.
Good.
Well, before we get into it, I've got to bring up WWE using WrestlePalooza.
Mm.
Now, isn't there a local indie group that has been using WrestlePalooza for about the last, 10, 15 years?
They have, and the funny thing is, we discussed that. If you'd be a pinfall member, Joe, you would know that we talked about this a few weeks ago.
More than an hour a week of this is way, way too much.
So, Joe,
you guys would be too much.
that's true. No, we were kind of going over that, and one of our listeners, David Solinsky, sent me the very small difference between First Wrestling, the WrestlePalooza, and WrestlePalooza. Two different things based on the trademark. Because I looked at it and I'm like, WWE and TKU, you sneaky little minx. It was just a little differentiation in the trademark, because that's the first thing that I thought too. That is the first thing. I'm like, man, how do they not know that this is trademarked? And lo and behold, 2 words versus 1 word. That's what it is. They're smart. I know.
Very, very smart.
It doesn't mean it's just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
It's low and underhanded in my opinion, but I digress.
Yeah, it's TKO. What do we expect?
Yep.
True.
Well, you know who's not low and underhanded? That's Mick, because Mick Karch is allowing us to.
Oh, this Mick.
Yeah, this Mick.
Well,
He's not.
This Mick. So what you said, this makes it that much more, huh?
No, this is not slick Mick as a sense as he's slick trying to get one over on us. He decided so very graciously and eloquently to allow us into his personal photo portfolio, if you will.
Mixed picks.
Slick Mick's picks. That's what we're going to call this.
I eloquently allowed you in. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
All right.
Why are you guys making this something it's not? I'm trying to put you a compliment. You
do,
dirty old man.
That is what we do.
That's right. That is correct.
Oh, baby, no. What is you doing? What is you doing?
Well, time to our shout outs, and we'll see you next week.
Take it home, guys.
Oh, all right. Let's look at some pictures.
Let's get started with Flick Mix. Nah, not so private picks.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I'll have to tell you about a word that I shortened up one time that I think you'll really like.
Okay. All right. Oh, there goes your microphone.
Either that or he's just muting himself.
Oh, he left. Okay, here we go.
Okay, let's get started. These are Slick Mix picks. Sort of like Rubber Baby Buggy Bumper, isn't it?
Hi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But this is a dig. Mick just goes through his vast archive and presents us every once in a while with some ring action picks and some behind the scenes sort of random picks. What a way to start.
Yeah, I put this one up for you, Joe. I want to say this is Milwaukee. I'm not 100% sure because that the gentleman second from the right looks a little bit like Dennis Hilgart, but I'm not positive. But this is old school AWA, and there's nothing flashy about this picture. It is just, you got the ring attendant with All-Star Wrestling. You got a couple of ring guys with Crusher, and I would guess by Crusher's appearance, it's probably mid to late 70s. Probably mid 1970s, but classic old AW. Look at that turnbuckle. You got no or that ring post. There's no flash. There's no LED board or anything else surrounding the ring post. It's been run into many times, probably by Crusher's head, And I thought this was just a great, great picture. Old school.
If Crusher would have come around, let's say 10 years later, what would his entrance song have been? In Heaven There Is No Beer?
Roll out the barrel.
Roll out the barrel. How about that?
Yeah, I think so. That would have been Crush.
It would have to be a polka, and I can just listen to the Crusher pop, or the Crusher beer in this case.
Yeah, there you go. Nothing flashy about this. These are pictures that catch my eye, and I thought I got to show this one to Joe. That's his favorite wrestler right there, Crusher.
I love it still to this day. Our next pick, Dusty, is getting, shall we say, a handful.
You know, I've never quite understood, and this picture has made the rounds on the World Wide Web. Dusty and Andre are standing at urinals there, and you notice there's some beer bottles in the box on the table, and Dusty is saying hello to Andre in a very interesting way. Personally, I've never greeted somebody at a urinal with that gesture, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Chris, how about you?
No, I don't need to. America's favorite proctologist, baby.
All I can say is that's Dusty being Dusty.
You know, I wonder if Andre's wallet is in that back pocket. Maybe that's what's going on here.
But I mean, see, here's the thing: if the urinal is already too small for Andre and the American team, baby, proctology. If he gooses Andre, if he does that, I mean, Andre jumps, and I mean, it's going to feel like the ceiling's going to leak, right?
Yeah, there's not a lot of room there between Andre's head and the ceiling, at least in this picture. And I think if Dusty moves his hand just a certain way, you're absolutely right. It'd be like kind of like Jack in the Box.
Here's my question, though.
Yeah.
Who took this picture of Dusty and Andre taking dual whizzes in the bathroom? Who thought it was a good idea to take a camera and go, hey, there's Dusty and Andre both taking a leak. Click.
You know.
Was that you? Is this you?
No. I'm just thinking that, you know, the era might not be exact, but Bobby Heenan would certainly be capable of something like that.
You wouldn't take the lens cap off.
They say that a photo captures a moment in time. I would like to have known. I mean, you can, if you look at the pic, Andre is like, "What you doing, boss?"
Exactly.
Did Andre then just proceed to fucking turn left and use that fire hose that he calls a penis and just douse Dusty after that? I mean, what was the after of this photo? And I see in the
fire hose. You know, I kind of stuck on that one, but let's.
I'm seeing the Copenhagen or Skål tin.
Skål.
You might want to keep. You might Skål. Yeah. Skål. Dusty might want to keep that tin closed because Andre might pull a rib and. Shall we say moisten up his tin?
Oh, you know what it is? This is Dusty with 5 in the stink.
Do we have any more pictures this week, or is this?
Yeah, we could sit on this one for a while, but
that's
wow.
And we are obviously.
Okay, moving on from the 5 in the stink.
Let's see who else we have coming up here, and you know, of course, I have no idea which picture is going to come up, but there you go. I love this, and this is. I'm going to say this is 1973. That would be superstar Billy Graham and Ken Patera. Ken is in the background, and they are having a weightlifting competition. They did this around the horn in the AWA, allegedly, you know, 500-600 pounds on the bar. I don't know how accurate that was. You know, I saw, you know, couple of lady midgets, carrying the weights around early on in the show. So I'm not sure that was the actual weight.
So if those are true 45s on there, 405 pounds.
Well, I think the operative word is true. But be that as it may, and the only reason I say that is because the finish of this weightlifting competition was your typical heel and babyface weightlifting competition, where I believe Mr. Patera was about to outlift superstar Billy Graham in the amount of weight that was on the bar, and Superstar threw some talcum powder in the eyes of Ken Patera, which caused the weight to fall down all 405 pounds across the throat of Ken Patera, who miraculously got up and was able to walk to the locker room after his larynx was crushed. But Superstar Graham and Ken Patera. Imagine that in a weightlifting competition, somebody resorted to throwing powder in the eyes of the opponent. Wow.
Never seen it.
Nope.
Never seen it.
Nope, never happened before. Look at the shape Superstar is in back then.
He's ripped.
So Patera, this would have been right after Ken broke camp with at Verne's camp. So Patera was a babyface when he first started?
Oh, absolutely. He was
the All-American Olympian thing.
Yep, they did the whole 9 yards, and Ken at the time, and again, I hate to bring up poor Brad Ringens, but Ken's personality, his TV persona at the time was like Brad Ringens. There was just nondescript. He cut these just monotone like promos, nowhere near what he developed into in later years. One of the greatest heels in the history of the business.
Well, I mean, for the majority of talent, when they first start doing promos, they're all rather monotone and struggle. I go back and take a look at early interviews of Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Marty was better than Shawn initially. Yep. And then fast forward, and I mean, Shawn became one of the all-time greats, whatever you think about him personally. It happens a lot. I've said it before. You get somebody in front of that red light, in front of that camera, and they have a tendency to freeze up, or they're trying to figure out what the hell they need to say. They're thinking about it rather than just doing it. And one of the toughest things to do, and Mick, you can attest to this, one of the toughest things to do when you're on video is to maintain eye contact with that lens. You're talking to one thing, a round glass object.
Yep.
You've got, in our case, you've got 3 or 4 people that are actually paying attention. But for a wrestling broadcast, you've got hundreds of thousands, or not millions. It's not as easy as you think it is. But you're right about Ken, and in the beginning, I do remember his earlier promos. I just don't remember him as a babyface as much, maybe because it wasn't memorable.
No, he was a babyface, and it's interesting too. If you look at Ken, he's got that Olympic weightlifter physique going on too. He's got that low center of gravity, putting it mildly. Nowhere near the cut Ken Patera that he was in his heel days. And it's interesting, John. I know we'll move on here in a second.
Well, I get a question to ask you guys, kind of a sidebar. No, after you guys are done here.
As I think back to some of Verne's early trainees, they all came in with that monotone, whether it was Larry Heineme, Lars Anderson, Baron von Raschke, even Greg Gagne.
By design?
Pardon me?
Is that maybe how Verne told them to cut their promo very monotone?
I don't know if it was that, or just they were, like Joe said, they were nervous and they were getting their feet wet. And once you develop that character and know where you're going in the business, then it all of a sudden explodes for you.
Okay, so I do have one question I want to ask you guys here. I think I know the answer, but I want to hear you guys and your thoughts. Is it harder to come straight out of camp and be a better talker, or be a better in-ring performer?
Wow. I think it's tougher to be a better talker because you've got some basic ring skills anyway. You might have some basic pro wrestling technique or whatever, but still to go out on TV, like Joe said, and you see that red light turn on and, it's 3, 2, 1, everybody quiet in the studio, and it's just you and a piece of glass, that some of these guys, never get past that. So I would say, and on the overall, Chris, I think it's tough to be a talker.
And the most important thing or advice I would give to a young wrestler is to find your way to be comfortable when you're doing a promo. Because if you're not comfortable, you come across as being lost, as like, where is he trying to go with this? Again, when you're nervous on camera, you have a tendency to overthink what it is you need to say or want to say. Once you get comfortable, it becomes more of a conversation. It does become easier over the course of time. For some people, some wrestlers, I think of early Cosgrove interviews.
Yeah.
And he was actually, he never had that uncomfortable thing. Now, uncomfortable here, Cosgrove starting here, and then, ended up here. He could go on camera and do whatever the heck that he wanted and did it very well. The other thing that I'll bring up is the technology part of it. In 2025, pretty much everybody has got one of these. And while it's not a video camera and you don't have the lights and you don't have a confidence monitor with you, people are more comfortable being in front of a lens. But go to your, to a family gathering or a group of friends, and there's going to be somebody that just is not comfortable or does not want to be recorded.
Yeah, and for those that aren't watching and you're listening, Joe just held up his cell phone.
Yeah.
When he's like, everybody has one of these, he's talking about a phone.
Yeah. And so it's gotten easier, but back in, we're talking particularly about 73, 74 with the Patera thing. If you were recorded on video, you were in the vast minority. You were the rare exception because you only had local TV channels. Exactly. In 73, 74, if I'm not mistaken, most people couldn't afford it because it would have just come out. But I don't think that the video cameras came out until 76-ish. I'm just guessing. So it's just not something that people were comfortable with. To get back to the talent, it still happens today. I have worked with some indie groups, and some of the talent who just has not been on camera before, you can tell. It's just an uncomfortable feeling because it's something that they haven't done. Some people can just say, what the fuck, let's do it. Others have a more difficult time.
Let's move on. Who do we got next in the Rolodex?
Yeah, I should have been paying attention, but I wasn't.
Why start now? Oh, Raymond!
Joe, this is another one for you. And I'm guessing by Ray's appearance on the backdrop, that would be WWF days. And look at that. And I actually had that picture made into an 8x10 for my collection. That is such a terrific picture of Ray Stevens. You and I have talked ad nauseum how if there's a Hall of Fame, this guy should be in it. Every single freaking wrestling Hall of Fame should have Ray Stevens. In a lot of ways, a lot of people will say that this was the greatest performer or greatest ring technician of all time. But I just love that picture. I mean, that screamed, you got to put this up for Joe Chupik.
I'm trying to decipher whether one of three things. A, that Ray is hungover. B, that he's hungover and is wondering about his next beer. Or 3, that he's already drunk and is trying to figure out what the hell the interviewer just said.
I think you hit the trifecta.
I was going to say, it sounds like it would be all three, but
Yeah, all
I
three.
didn't know right.
And you might throw a little constipation in there besides. Yeah, classic Ray Stevens, and that man, that's going up on my wall. That's a great picture.
Let's see. What was his line? He's a trucker, a fighter, and a wild bull rider.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
Well, good thing he didn't end with trucker.
God bless Ray Stevens. Okay, let's keep moving on to see who we have next. And again, I just toss these guys the pictures, and then I wait to see what.
Well, while we wait, didn't Ray start wrestling when he was like 14 or 15 or something?
15 years old, yeah.
15
years old. I love this picture. This is from Japan. That is Dory Funk Jr. delivering a suplex to Mr. Bockwinkel. And the match there, talk about old school classic. We've showed other pictures of it before. Nick Bockwinkel and Harley Race teaming up against the Funks in Japan. My God, what I wouldn't give to see that one live. But old Nicholas is going for a ride in that picture. Classic wrestling photo.
You know, by what you just said, Mick, I couldn't help but thinking how great Japan had it, because they didn't have to follow by the booking rules over here. I mean, if there was a dropping of the belt or changing of the belt, then yeah. But as far as mixing it up, Harley Race and Nick Bockwinkel tag teaming against the Funks. Can you imagine that being done in the AWA?
Oh my God.
Oh man, incredible.
Pure heaven, and it just the classic pro wrestling action photo. That's a good one. That is a goodie.
What do we have next, Mick? Or Cubsy?
Let's see who. Oh, that I believe this would be from Portland, Oregon, and the man standing up there is Apache Bull Ramos, and his tag team partner is a young, and I would say he's probably in his early 20s there, I'm guessing. That would be Jesse the Body Ventura, and I'm not sure that particular hairstyle of Jesse's there was his most attractive over the years. Certainly he went on to shave his head, et cetera, and put the V on his chest or on his head or beard, whatever. But and Jesse hasn't developed fully, as you can see. At some point, and I don't know if this was in Portland, that he called himself Surfer Jesse Ventura, but he was already mimicking superstar Billy Graham.
Well, wasn't Jesse billed from California?
From San Diego.
From San Diego, okay.
Yeah, he was built from San Diego, California. And this would not be Jesse's ideal all-time great promo photo, I don't believe. And Apache Bull Ramos, straight ahead, no nonsense, tough guy in the wrestling business, and they teamed him up. But Jesse, I don't know if he looks like Christopher Lloyd there. I'm not quite sure what he's got going on there. But
next time I see Jesse, I'm going to call him Doc, and then I'm going to run.
I got to go with Reverend Jim Ignatowski from Taxi.
There you go.
That was my favorite character.
Oh boy. Not the greatest, but there he is. And I'm not sure that me and Gene would have had a difficult time running around Jesse's back and checking out the deltoids.
Deltoids, yes.
Deltoids, as it were. Yeah, that's got to go back. Oh, man, late 70s, 1980-ish, I'm guessing, in Portland. Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, and if you're wondering about what part of the body is the deltoid, we've got our Road Warrior watch along for our pinfall members. Those that know. And if you want to really know the cool thing about the deltoid, become a pinfall member for $4.99. Go back and watch the Road Warrior watch along. You'll know. You'll be part of the whole kids table.
It's a very niche market too. The deltoid surgeons that are out there. Now this picture, here's another Andre and Joe and Chris. I think I'm going to let you guys caption this because I just don't know what to say about this picture. Interesting indeed. You got Bloody Andre, and you've got Pat Patterson, and Pat is wearing I believe, his watch or a wristband or something there. And Pat is looking lovingly at Andre. I'm just not sure, guys, but I saw that picture and I thought, WTF, as the kids say.
Well, the first thing that I noticed is obviously Andre's bloody head.
Mm-hmm.
Pat looking at him like, hey, boss, come back to my room with a case of that cognac later. But
yeah, that's what I.
But the is that Saruta in the background there, Mick?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Well, you know what? No, I don't think so. And his name escapes me, and I should know that. But a little bit smaller than Saruta, and God, I should know that guy's name.
Not Tenaru or one of the other.
Yeah, one of those. But it may be Saruta. But quite honestly, that didn't draw me to the picture. I think the one thing that I would say, it's Pat's expression here, Joe and Chris. And I don't know if Pat is stunned by the blood that he's looking at, if he's fallen in love. I'm not sure what's happening here. And either are you guys, apparently.
I don't think Andre knows. Pat's the only one that would know.
There you go. Slick Mix picks. There you go.
Great. Love the pick. But for once, the caption escapes me.
Yeah, I don't feel like I could say something that would be FCC acceptable because I don't want to get to. Well, wait a minute. We're not subject to FCC rules, are we?
Yeah, I think we probably should move on from Pat. Well, that is Andre. That's not.
What we should do is we should ask people to put a thought bubble above Pat's head. Okay, here it is for the AWA Unleashed Army. You see this picture of Pat Patterson looking at Andre the Giant. What is Pat thinking? Let us know what's the thought bubble above his head. Either the comments on Facebook or YouTube, wherever. You know what? Let's do this. I think I might have like an old school first run AWA Unleashed t-shirt upstairs. How about this? We will find a way to get it signed by all of us. I will send somebody an autographed AWA Unleashed t-shirt from the three of us if we get the best caption for Pat Patterson. Do that. Maybe we'll give it a week. We'll give it, what is today? The 20-something?
22nd?
22nd. So we'll give it till Monday the 29th. What is Pat Patterson thinking? Best suggestion gets an autographed AWA Unleashed t-shirt.
Chris, post that on our Facebook page so that our viewers or whatever, they can make those comments right on our Facebook page.
Okay, that's a good idea. I'll put that. Yeah, I'll put that on the Facebook page as soon as I get done.
Perfect.
Let's keep going. We got a lot of picks. A lot of
Sorry,
picks yet to go.
I got so many thoughts that it would kill the rest of the game.
All righty. What is up next? Roll the dice and man. Talk about two legends in the business. And this is obviously, I want to say this is probably the New York-based Hall of Fame, although I wouldn't swear to it. Our buddy Nick Bockwinkel and Bruno Sammartino, two of the all-time greats in the business. And I had never seen a picture of Nick and Bruno together. And this was just jumped out at me. God bless these two all-time, absolutely stellar performers in the business.
Did they ever wrestle, Mick?
I don't believe so. Somebody asked me
that would have been a classic.
Yeah, I don't know. And somebody also asked if Verne had wrestled Bruno, and I don't think he had. But again, I don't know. But again, looking at this picture, I would say, mid 2000s, probably early 2000s. And well, that's a classic. That's another one of the slick 8x10s that has been made up this week. So
as much as we long for the territory days, we've made no bones about it on this podcast. One of the downsides to the territories was not being able to have a Bruno Sammartino versus Verne Gagne, or Bruno against Nick Bockwinkel match that could be seen by more than maybe 10, 15,000 in an arena.
But doesn't that make it more special though?
But if they never do it, then there's nothing special, is my point. I believe Flair and Bruno may have wrestled. I don't know, but
well, you had your Bockwinkel Backlund matches, and you had Flair and Nick wrestled. A lot of times they did that in Toronto or Florida, but yeah, it was a rarity, and it really did mean something. But of course, all the matches went to a double count out or double disqualification or time limit draw or something. So nobody's promotion, nobody's territory was adversely affected. But they would.
How tough was it when you would have those big stars go in for a one-off? I know that there's a lot of NWA had a bunch of people that were they were always around the board table or going into WWF at the time. But some of these other promotions, did they play nice together with the guys that would come in?
Yeah, they did at the time. I know that Nick and Ray had an extended run in Florida while they were AWA Tag Team Champions. They were wrestling down there pretty consistently. The one-offs, again, seemed to be in Toronto a lot of times where they would do, I know Backlund and Nick and so on and so forth. But, they were playing relatively nicely. It wasn't until the 1980s when things kind of went south a little bit.
Yeah, they had that gentleman's working agreement where, okay, take this talent, give them a run for a while, just to get them off TV here and
pop a house. It was they would pop the house.
Are you guys surprised that it took that long for somebody to kind of do what Vince did and break all those norms, break all those rules?
I don't think you can really accurately say that, Chris, because there was no cable TV. I think cable TV is what really changed everything. I don't think without cable TV, I think Vince and the WWF were just another big territory. I don't think things would have changed at all in the business, but cable TV, a dramatic shift.
Okay.
Well, and even just before the expansion to cable TV was just the expansion of the local channels.
Yeah.
Specifically here in the Twin Cities, we had 4, 5, 9, and 11. Can't forget Channel 2 as well. Mm-hmm. But then in the 80s, we got Channel 23 and Channel 29.
Yep.
And one, I can't remember which one it was, but WCCW was broadcast on one of those.
Yep.
WWF. And also keep in mind that the rest of the leagues, including the WWF by this point in the 80s, it's not that they got their show placed on television. It's how much did you pay that channel to air our show?
The barter system.
Exactly. Yeah. They've got 12 minutes worth of commercial time per hour.
Yeah, explain what a barter is maybe for people that might not know.
Well, so you have 12 minutes of commercial time in a 1-hour wrestling show. And typically the local stations would get 4 minutes of advertising time so that they could run their local promotion. And then the league or the promoter would keep the other 8 minutes. Sometimes that was a 6 and a 6, depending on the territory. But that's how the local channels were able to make money off of the show. They were given a free show that ratings were very good. Yep. And they were given 4 to 6 minutes of free commercial time. So it made sense. In some areas, it went beyond just the barter, and some extra dollars were sent to the program director to put them on TV, depending on what the market was. There's the barter system back in the day.
Moving ahead. Who do we got up next?
Yeah, I like to, with some of those terms, like some might know, but then otherwise just to give some context.
Sure.
Perfect. We put this picture up before, and I came across it again, and I love this. This would be 1974, I believe, and that would be Nature Boy Ric Flair on the left, and the mustachioed Greg Gagne taking either it's a forearm or a shoulder tackle when both guys were new to the wrestling business. And my God, how things changed in a hurry. And, Greg's physique, and this is not denigrating, didn't change all that much over the next 20, 25 years he was in the business. Mr. Flair, on the other hand, that excess girth around his midsection, that definitely changed. But this was AWA 1974-ish, around the time that they put out the movie The Wrestler, and just classic stuff.
Yeah, when I remember seeing early videos and pics of Flair when I started with the AWA, not even really recognizable to what he transformed into.
He was three bills when he was working in the AWA, or at least when he first went down south. He's a big boy.
So what do you think changed for him? I mean, I know he had that accident. Was it? I mean, when did you guys see it start to change for Flair in terms of just like toning down and getting into the physique that we know that Ric Flair had?
To me, you started to see the transformation when he went down to Mid-Atlantic. It was kind of a slow transition at first. He didn't have the tapered physique, but you could see that, the excess body fat was starting to come off. And there's no doubt about it. And, when he left here, everything changed just like that. It was pretty quick, pretty meteoric rise for Flair once he left the AWA.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys this thing too. It kind of got me thinking, and I mean, we might only get through a few more pictures, but I kind of got these questions that are popping into my head. These guys that train with Verne and then they end up being big stars, do you feel like there's extra pressure on them because they come from Verne's camp and then they're in the same promotion in the same market as Verne, and maybe if they go someplace else and they kind of have a chance to kind of separate themselves and kind of create their own identity, their own path, you feel like that worked better for them instead of being here and feeling the pressure of you're a Verne trainee, so there's a certain expectation on you?
Good question. I would say on the overall, outside of like a Larry Hennig or somebody that stayed with Verne and trained with him, I think every one of these stars, and Joe, chime in here. It was like a new lease on life. Verne, it's like teaching your toddler how to walk, and all of a sudden you look around and they're scooting all over the place. Like, where the hell did they go now? I think that's kind of similar to what happens in the business, whether it's Kazuo Vasiri or Flair or anybody, Steamboat. They all get their wings and they fly. And that's a testament to Verne's great training. That's also a testament to Verne getting his 10%, kind of keeping his hooks in there after a while. But it's amazing how some of the guys truly develop. Sergeant Slaughter's another guy that comes to mind. I mean, he was Big Bob Remus, he was Bob Slaughter and everything else. And then all of a sudden he's, Sarge.
G.I. Joe. And
G.I. Joe. And they get their feet wet, Chris, and they go someplace else. I guess it's no different than an actor that starts on an off-Broadway show and all of a sudden he's on the big screen making millions of dollars. That's what happens.
Yeah, the analogy that pops into my head is more of a child who has just graduated high school or college, still living at home, and then they go off on their own to sort of blaze their own path. Yeah, they could have started that at home by going to school, but getting away from the parents, getting away from the homestead is sort of like a new beginning. I forgot what the term is that butterflies do, but they spread their wings in their own way without, whether it's intended or not, or justified or not. They don't have that pressure, maybe self-imposed, when they're still living at home. They're totally different once they move out. And that's just coming from experience, having 3 adult children now. I've seen the changes in each one of them once they moved away from home.
Next picture. We can crank some out here, Chris.
That's all right. I mean, hey, what we don't get to, we can use next time.
Yeah. We got a little time yet.
We'll go another 10 minutes with the pictures, and then we'll do the shout outs and everything.
I have mentioned Mr. Wrestling Tim Woods, and that is he on the left in the white mask, white trunks, and next to him, our buddy, Mad Dog Maurice Vachon. So this has to be an Omaha photograph. This would be 1960s, Omaha, Nebraska, mid 1960s. I had never seen this picture before of the dog and Tim Woods. And what's interesting about it, unless I'm completely haywire on the time frame and everything, Tim Woods, Mr. Wrestling, was a babyface in the Omaha area, and Mad Dog Vachon, of course, was starting his run as a notorious heel, eventual AWA World Heavyweight Champion, Tag Team Champion. So this is a pretty unique pick we got going here.
Well, what type of beverages are in that bucket down there?
That was one I seen it too.
I don't know if they grabbed the bucket from Andre and Dusty.
Well, what do you think? Andre and Dusty were in the bathroom.
Well, that's a good point. You know, it's interesting. These old school wrestling pictures, invariably, they either got a cigarette or a bucket of beer in the pictures in the locker room. And, that's part of the charm of old school wrestling as well. But yeah, Mr. Wrestling Tim Woods and Mad Dog Vachon, two great amateur wrestlers, by the way. Let's not forget, maybe how they turned out as pros, but in Canada, it was Maurice, and here in the States, Tim Woods was a tremendous amateur wrestler.
I thought alcohol was bad for dogs. Am I wrong?
We have any more pictures coming up at all? Any more pictures that we can?
As a pet owner, I'm concerned. I know I'm
just keep the vermouth away from your pet. Here's another Dusty photograph, and
we see Dusty from the back. Now we get Dusty from the front. Oh my God!
You get Dusty from the front, and look at that picture. Same expression. That is Dick Slater, Dirty Dick Slater, and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Joe, I would have to guess this is probably from Florida, although maybe Georgia. I'm not sure. But two, and especially Dick Slater, and this is not to denigrate Dusty, because Dusty loved to fight. He and Murdoch would go in looking for fights all the time. The more I read about Dick Slater, this guy was one of the toughest badass SOBs to ever live in the wrestling business. And both of them gone now, of course, but love that picture.
Looking at the definitely 70s hairstyle.
Yeah.
Long over the ears, just scraggly. Dusty's hair never really changed.
No, he let it grow out a little bit, where he had that kind of afro look going for a while. But that picture is again, compared to what you got going on in the business today, you put a picture of the Young Bucks next to this picture of Rhodes and Slater, and you see the difference in the wrestling eras, no question about it.
When I see that photo, it looks like Dusty had just told him what he had done to Andre, and the look on his face is like, "You did what?"
It's interesting. When I was with the AWF, we went to watch a pay-per-view at Dick Slater's house down in Tampa, and there was just a little bit of brewski laying around the house. It was actually decorated in early brewski, the home of Dick Slater. Dusty was not there, but quite the experience. Old school wrestling. Can you imagine the road trips with these guys? Can you just imagine?
I can imagine, but I just don't want to remember.
There you go.
You probably won't remember it either.
No. All right. What do we got next there, buddy boy?
Right, we may have just a couple here, but that's okay. We can save the rest for another time.
This is why I put this. This has nothing to do. This was pre-AWA. And Chupik, you're putting your head in your hands. And this, again, I have said this even going back to the 1950s. There was something about Verne and hair. Now, explain to me why Verne would either even bother shaving his head. I mean, that's not really a great loss to Verne, even at that point in his career. He had a little bit going on there, but honest to God, it's not like he had this full head of hair. It would probably be 2 strokes of the clippers, and you're good to go, Vernsky.
Well, look at Gorgeous George's headline reaction. Gagne's bald already, says Sassy George. So even Gorgeous George knew it. It's like, you're not really shaving your head, you're shaving half your head.
Very, very accurate. And you notice too, is there a stipulation that Gorgeous George will shave his head? No, it was strictly Verne putting up this ultimatum. And
So George didn't put anything up?
I don't believe so. At least not this time. I remember, later on there were matches in Gorgeous George's career towards the end of his run where he was shaved in the middle of the ring, shaved bald. But here
I'm going to guess because he was already balding.
Could have been. But look at is there, Chris, what's the point here? I don't understand it. It's like Haystack Calhoun getting in the ring and telling somebody, if you beat me, I'll have another donut. It just makes no sense whatsoever.
I was thinking that was a pretty good. I was thinking along those lines with a stipulation. It's a pretty good way to. Man, a stipulation one way. I mean, that makes zero sense.
Well, one of the things that the main headline, I'll beat Gorgeous in 30 minutes or shave my head. 30 minutes?
Well, and Verne is kind of egotistical there too, isn't he? I mean, talking about beating his Gorgeous for 30 minutes or shaving his head. I mean,
did beating Gorgeous in 30 minutes, did that include hand lotion or some type of KY jelly? I don't know.
I mean, not that we're, denigrating ourselves here again, but, I mean, I could see, referring to it as, Luigi or something else, but Gorgeous, that's kind of pompous on Verne's part. Wally, I could see getting away with it.
I now have a new nickname. I got to go take care of my Gorgeous.
Just remember, Joe, 5 in the stink.
Well, we got another photograph or 2. Can we get 2 in there? Can we get 2?
You know what? Let's go with 1.
All right.
We go from 5 in the stink to Mick saying, "Can we get 2 of them in there?"
There's a photograph.
We'll take it home with this one because I want to save the rest of them.
All right, that's fine.
I don't think we can go.
That is. I'm going to say this is 1969-ish, maybe 1970. That's Mr. Bockwinkel again on the right, and he has the Georgia Heavyweight Championship belt. He is with Paul Jones, not number 1 Paul Jones of wrestling fame, the wrestler. That is Paul Jones, the promoter down in the Atlanta area. And Nick was a heel back then. He was just getting his heel feet wet in the Georgia area. He lost the Georgia Heavyweight Championship to Buddy Colt, the late Buddy Colt, who also wrestled as Cowboy Ron Reed, for those of you who care. And after that championship loss, he ventured to the AWA. He came up north in the fall of 1970, and the rest is history.
Mick, question for you about Mr. Bockwinkel. We know he was the eloquent speaking, not flashy, but very nicely attired world champion or wrestler. When he first started, and he didn't come straight out of a match. Obviously, if he did, he would be wearing his trunks to do a promo. But when he came out, shall we say, in a non-wrestling match mode, did Mick always wear the nice sport coat and the nice shirt, even very early on when he started?
I've seen a lot of pictures of Nick in kind of like maybe a polo shirt or, business casual or something like that over the years. Remember, too, he was a TV guy, a TV star, whether it was the Monkees or Hawaii Five-0 or what have you. And
Did
then
he do Hollywood Squares
he
too?
did. He was a
Okay.
contestant on Hollywood Squares. So Nick always had this kind of movie star, TV star look about him. So he was always well dressed. But of course, you can see it here. He kind of has that AWA look when he first came into the AWA in the 1970s. But Nick was never, he was always nattily dressed and clean cut. And that's part of his legacy, the class of Nick.
From Beverly Hills, California.
Yeah, well, he may have flown over Beverly Hills once or twice. I know he lived in Los Angeles.
Well, what are you saying?
Pardon me?
That Nick Bockwinkel really wasn't from Beverly Hills?
Next, I'm probably going to tell you that Bobby Heenan was from Indianapolis. I realize.
I'm going to go and talk to Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny right now.
You probably should. And while you're at it, check on Mad Dog's Alley in Algeria. That he, Mad Dog Lane or whatever the hell it is in Algeria.
He wouldn't be there. He's deep in the mines where it makes his muscles strong. Building a pine box. Tabut! Tabut!
I love getting you started. just pump the gas a couple of times and you're ready to go, pal.
Yeah, let's do some shout outs and we'll bring it home here. Because the rest of them, like, this was fun because I didn't feel like, we've got all these pictures. We still got a bunch of them, but it's kind of more enjoyable when we're not like rushing through everything. So, and these are evergreen pictures anyway. So
I'm never Russian. I'm always Polish.
Yeah. I see what you did there. All right.
Here we go. My shout out this week will be to a good friend, Steve Pearson. And Steve and his beautiful wife, Nicole, are the parents of our good buddy, Gavin Pearson. Gavin, who had the brain surgeries, God bless him, when he was just 8 years old. Steve has been having a little health issue of his own and had a major health scare recently. Might have to make a couple of lifestyle changes, but great family all the way through, all the kids. Steve and Nicole, you're great. Steve, hang in there, buddy, and best wishes to you.
Okay, my turn. Ted Cagney is my blind dart throw of the week. Ted, I had to laugh. I got a comment. You had commented on Larry Zbyszko and how he had now been in the business for 50 glorious years.
Mm-hmm.
I missed those old Zbyszko interviews. I really did. The interviews lasted longer? His promos, which were typically slated at 2.5 because Larry could carry it, or the amount of time that it took before he locked up after he got introduced. I'm going with the lockup.
The stalling and the lockup was 25 minutes, Joe. Larry may still be
wrestling time or real time.
Yeah, real time. He may be walking to a ring right now as we speak. If they have an old time WWE Battle Royal again, Larry is well on his way. He's getting it.
Yeah, Larry could be introduced as number 1, but yet he'd entered the ring at number 30.
And still not get into the ring.
Oh, God. Oh, that's great. Okay, Chris?
I'm going to go with our buddy Tom Hollick, just north of the border up in Winnipeg. One of my favorite cities. I love Winnipeg. Just awesome place. And Manitoba, one of my favorite provinces. And Tom, appreciate you and all of the cool things that you post. So there we go, guys. This was fun.
And we got probably half the pictures to carry over. For next time, and I agree with you, Chris. Pacing it this way, although we typically pace it this way when Chupik is on, but pacing it this way, not rushing, kind of taking our time a little bit. This was good, and you and I are going to do back to ringside tomorrow.
Yep.
We have a special guest that we will not announce till things are etched in stone for next week. So things are looking good here at the old pod.
Yes.
And in the meantime, go take care of your gorgeouses. Now, was Andre looking at Dusty, or was he looking at Dusty's gorgeous? I'm thinking of the after of the shot here.
We'll see you next week.
Hold on. And if Andre was looking at Dusty's gorgeous, was Andre laughing at it?
No, see, I disagree. Fun fact, I also know that this is how your guys' friendship got started too.